Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. We love having you guys come on with us. If you can, say hello. If you can't, we say hello to you. And we always appreciate our audience when they can come on live. We understand we can't always do that, but we appreciate you here at The Doctor Is In. And let's see here this morning, who's number one on my hit parade? If I can see any names, there she is, Lisa, numero uno. Brahim right behind you, and Kevin right behind Brahim. Nativity, how are you? Sandy from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Diane, how are you, from Peterborough? Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia. Paula Joe, how are you? Elaine from The Rock, St. John's, Newfoundland. Patricia, how are you? Fran from Orangeville, how are you, Fran? And Janice from Brampton, good morning. Danny Lay from Iron Bridge. Marla from Oregon, how are you? Yvonne Petawawa, Amber from New Jersey. And Teresa from Mississauga. Laurie is in this morning from Cambridge. Debbie from Coburg. Brahim says he's number one. Carol, Wasaga Beach. Nick, how are you, Nick? Paula Joe saying hi. Sharon, Kansas. Helga, good morning. Helga and Dave, I should know better. Margaret, how are you? Kathy from Simcoe, Ontario. Milika from Stouffville. Milika, I don't even have to look where you're from. I know where you're from. Dennis, how are you? Patricia. Dave. Muskoka. Joan, how are you, from Blind River? Jill from Medicine Hat, Alberta. Judy, I don't mean to forget you, Judy. If I didn't see your name, it's not because I don't love you. Judy from Mitchell. Carol from West Virginia. Rosalind. What happened to you, Rosalinda? You're not up at the top. Rita from New Brunswick. Janice and Nativity. Rain is coming again. Yeah, Sharon. And Sharon saying beautiful day in Kansas. Patricia from Pulaski, Tennessee. Rosa. And Francis, Rose, and Elaine. Okay, Sherry's in Mississauga. Sylvette. Bonjour. Darlene, how are you? Margie, how are you? Georgie, there she is, from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Judy from Port Perry, Ontario. Cheryl from Mississauga. And Cheryl from Lighthouse Cove. Rosalinda said she slept in today. Nativity's scroll is not moving. I don't know Nativity. Don't ask me. I know nothing. Denise, Janine, Bev, IT, how are you? Rhoda from Labrador. Gwen, already in the clouds. Kathy, Wasaga Beach. And Yvonne, how are you, from BC? Nice to have you on. Catherine, Springdale, Newfoundland. Let's see, a couple of more. Sylvia, how are you? And Rain Cloud, how are you, from Michigan? Nice to have you on. Hi, Bruno, from North Bay. Dear friends to the program, you guys are great. Dale, how are you? Sue from Bolton. Nellie. And Chantal, there you are, from Ottawa. How is you? Karen, Innisfil. Rita. Okay. 2 Ritas in a row. Okay. Anne, how are you? Annie and Linda. Lucille. What happened, Lucille? You're usually at the top now. What's going on? Rose and Cecilia. Okay. Guys, I got lots of studies. But let's just go through a few of them, okay? New studies So we'll call this the New Studies Wednesday. How's that? Okay. What they're showing, this is a new study, prospective associations of serum vitamin B12 and homocysteine. Okay, we'll talk about this in a second. Ferritin and sarcopenia. Now, what is sarcopenia? Muscle wasting. And what we've been saying for several years now, we certainly, listen, I didn't have a clue when I was in school that muscle, of course you knew it was important, but you never looked at muscle like an endocrine organ. Okay? And when I do the deep dives on muscle, man, is that ever important for everything. We always knew it was important for your bones because the stronger your muscles, the better your bones are because they anchor in to the bone and the bone gets stronger when latching onto that muscle. But guys, they're showing if you're low in B12, we put out an email the other day on B12. If you're not getting our emails, get the email. Because we talked about B12 and the importance of it and how it's so easily missed. Remember, the B12 test, blood test, is 100 years old. In a way, you should give it a birthday party and put it to bed. I'm not saying you don't look at B12. Of course I do. But man, oh man, just so many people fall through the cracks with B12. But now they're showing the association between sarcopenia and anemia, a B12 anemia, even low ferritin anemia, high levels of homocysteine. Homocysteine is a test that you get done. And if it's high, it's an indicator of inflammation. It's also an indicator that you're low in B12. I kind of like the homocysteine test almost more than I like the B12 blood test. Although I do have a secret sauce for B12. Like it should be between 800 and 1200. If you're not optimized. And most people are way under that. And they think it's normal because the labs don't flag it. Anywho, the association between anemia, and again, so many people are anemic and the doctors, you never hear from them because they didn't get flagged, but you can be low B12 and you look like Casper the Ghost. That has a big effect on your muscles and sarcopenia. Okay. That was a brand new study. This is a new study on kidney disease, chronic kidney disease. And one of the things that this study shows, okay, let me read it to you. The prognostic value of triglyceride glucose index for renal function, progression in CKD, which is chronic kidney disease, which is an epidemic today. I talk to you about this all the time. Ask a diabetic. Kidneys get affected because of blood supply. Big time. Anywho, what they're saying now, okay, because you can do a glomerular filtration rate test, and you should have it done for sure, okay, for kidney function. But what they're saying, once you've been diagnosed with kidney disease, okay? And I think the numbers are for GFR, let me just get it in my head, 15 to 59 GFR. If you're under 60, you got some form of chronic kidney disease. But what they're showing here in these studies is that what is a great indicator for the progression of this disease, more than GFR, is your glucose, okay, your sugars, and your triglycerides, that index. Think about what this is saying. The best way to slow the progression of kidney disease is getting your glucose down and your triglycerides down. We talk about that all the time. Fat balls, triglycerides. How are they made? Sugar, carbs, crappy carbohydrates. That's what elevates triglycerides. And this study is showing that if you already have kidney disease, the best way to slow the progression of it is food. It's food. Get the sugars down. I would tell a patient that's got chronic kidney disease, to get on the reset. Then go low carb the rest of your life. Monitor, get your blood work done. Monitor your triglycerides. Monitor them. You know me and heart disease. What do I talk about all the time? I don't talk about low cholesterol. I talk about low triglycerides and high HDL cholesterol. You don't want low cholesterol. Anywho, this is groundbreaking, guys. This is groundbreaking because it's telling physicians monitor their triglycerides. It's telling urologists monitor triglycerides and glucose, because get that down. Well, you better learn a little bit of nutrition if you want to get triglycerides down. And you want to empty your liver. If you empty your liver, your triglycerides go down, and guess what happens? That helps your kidneys. They're connected. They're connected, guys. Anyway, amazing. I love these studies. Okay. This is a new study. Okay, June 2025 on vitamin D levels. Here we go. Here we go. And the more they research vitamin D, the more they look at dehydroxy-25, which is your serum vitamin D levels, the more they see the importance. Guys, you know when you go to your doctor and say, I want my lipids tested. I want my triglycerides. I want my HDL. And no doubt about it, I want those numbers. Guys, can I emphasize something to you? Get your vitamin D levels checked at least once a year and preferably twice a year. Now look, a lot of times doctors, because they don't know the importance of vitamin D, most don't, some do, most don't. They don't see vitamin D, guys. This is the big issue. Physicians are taught in medical school to be scared of the sun and scared of vitamin D toxicity. They don't talk about low vitamin D except a little bit. Oh, if it's too low, that, you're going to get osteoporosis. They don't understand. When I say they don't. And I'm not talking about you got a good doctor, good for you. Give your doctor a high five and give them a hug for me, because you got a good doctor that understands the importance of vitamin D. But 99% of them don't. They're scared of vitamin D. They've been taught in medical school that vitamin D is toxic. That's all they worry about. So they don't want to test it because you're not toxic. You don't have osteoporosis. Why should I check it? Guys, if you have to pay for it, invest in your bodies. Get your vitamin D levels checked. The more they study this, the more they realize, and this is new research again here coming out of 2025, on the importance of testing vitamin D and why. Let me bring you a couple of things, okay? The new study shows, okay? In the United States, okay, they do NGML. In Canada, they do NMOL-L. What's that all mean? Who cares? Just get used to numbers, okay? Don't worry with NGML. In Canada, this is what they do. That's how their numbers. Canada's numbers are 2.5 times what the United States is. So, for example, if you're 30 at vitamin D, NGML in the United States, right? Times 2 is 60, right? And a half. Now you're at 90 in Canada. That's very low, guys, by the way. It may be normal on testing, but it's extremely low. And I'll tell you why, okay? Because here's what the studies are showing. For immune function, bone health, inflammation control, you want, this is according to the new study in June of 2025, less than a year ago, you want 50 to 99 NGML. I always say the sweet spot is around 80 to 100 in American numbers. You're at 200 to 250 in Canadian numbers. That's where you should be at. For what? Bone health? Immune system? Cancer. Cancer. Okay? Inflammation. Vitamin D is very anti-inflammatory. Okay? New study. Now, listen to this. Okay? This is part of the study, and they said, okay, most Americans are walking around between 20 and 40 NGML. 2.5 times in Canada, those numbers, they're not good. Okay? That's what the average is, between 20 and 40. 20 is for a mouse, not you. Okay? Okay, listen to now they did research on autoimmune disease. And for autoimmune disease, for vitamin D to have a profound effect on the treatment of autoimmune, you need to be over 80 NGML. That's what this study showed. 2.5 times more in Canada. Guys, that's why I talk about 200 in Canada to 250 and above. Don't wait, please. Don't wait till medicine catches up with vitamin D. They can't patent it. So in medical schools, they'll hear little, except they'll scare the living life out of them about high vitamin D levels. As if our waiting rooms in the hospitals or walk-in clinics, I know why you're here. Your vitamin D is high. You're sick. No, it's the opposite, guys. It's just the opposite. But they don't know it, and don't wait. You know when it says, physician, heal thyself? Okay? I'm saying to you, okay? I'm saying to you, take care of yourself. Don't wait, please, for medicine to catch up to this stuff. They don't even read it most of the time. Now, look, if you got a good doctor, hallelujah, good for you. He or she is the exception. Therapeutic doses of vitamin D. You got to aim to get your numbers there. And the new research is showing, you know how many years I've been talking about vitamin D, guys? 50? When everyone said, I grew up in a generation that told us to get out of the sun. It's going to give you skin cancer. I grew up in that. My parents grew up in that generation too. Their generation. The sun, it'll kill you. Guys, I'm going to tell you, the vast majority of people walk around and their vitamin D is low, and they have, for number one, they don't know it. And number two, they're scared of it. I take 1,000 IUs of vitamin D, Doc. What do you think of that? I said, you got a hamster in your house? Yeah. Well, you give 1,000 IUs to the hamster. That's not for you. You get in the sun for 20 minutes, you get 10,000 IUs. The research, guys, when it comes to cancer, I wrote in my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. Let me see if I can get that quote here. Hold on a minute. I'll do it real fast. I wrote in my book here, that's in the first chapter, Sun, Steak, and Steel. Okay? All right, let me read a few quotes from my book. Canada and U.S. has significant vitamin D deficiency problems. One study found between 70 and 97% of Canadians are low in vitamin D. That's a public health crisis. That's in my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel, and Sleep. The same study found that if Canadians took only 2,000 IUs per day, 93% of Canadians would achieve normal blood levels. Yet few doctors know this. Even if they did, they'd still only recommend 1,000 IUs per day per max. There's a war on vitamin D, guys. There really is. There's just some things, guys, you gotta do by yourself. And you don't have to guess. You can get it tested. If you have to pay, I don't like the idea that healthcare in Canada, most of them don't pay for the vitamin D unless you have osteoporosis. But if you got to pay, pay. It's an investment. And move the needle up on your vitamin D, your dehydroxy levels of vitamin D. I'm telling you, the research is incredible, guys. It's incredible for cancer, breast cancer, for prostate cancer, for almost every cancer you can think of. I got a lot of stats in here. about in that book on vitamin D. Anywho, I get uptight, guys, because we've been lied to. Okay, let's see. Do we have time for one more study? Hold on a minute. Oh, it is. Here it is. Okay. I might do a whole thing on this one. This has to do with the microbiome. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll save this one. Brand new test on the microbiome. We'll talk about that 10 minutes. Okay, this is a new study on proton pump inhibitors. Okay? Let me just open it up here. We were talking about chronic kidney disease, right? Okay? And how the best way, once it's diagnosed, to keep it from deteriorating further, slowing the progression of chronic kidney disease, you watch your triglycerides and your blood sugars. A1C, guys, A1C. You know how much I love A1C. Okay? Anyway. Long-term use of PPIs, okay, proton pump inhibitors. They block stomach acid production. It's a big problem in our society today because you can get them over the counter and they don't come off of them. You can get, here's some of the new, well, some of it is new, not to me, but for you it might be. Long-term PPI uses causes magnesium, low magnesium. You're not absorbing it. And magnesium's important, guys. You know that. It's important for your bones. It's important for your muscles. It's important for your brain. It's important for your blood sugar. Magnesium. Relax. Your blood vessels. Your blood pressure. Your heart. Magnesium. Okay? And when you're on PPIs, you're not absorbing it. Bone fractures, we knew that, from reduced calcium absorption and magnesium and vitamin D. Elevated risk of C. difficile. Yes, C. difficile, guys, is very difficult. That's what it means. Difficile is French for difficult. It's a difficult bacteria. We'll talk about this tomorrow more because I'm going to show you the association tomorrow in cancer and your microbiome, even in your mouth and your gut. Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But here's what this study says on the continued use of PPIs. Chronic kidney disease from direct tubular toxicity. It affects the little tubes in your kidneys, your filtration tubes. Stomach, kidneys. Stomach, bones. Stomach, bacteria. Severe, like C. difficile, that kills hundreds of thousands of people a year in the hospital. They don't have enough acid in their stomachs because they're on PPIs. And they're on PPIs because they had acidity in their esophagus where it don't belong. But that happens because you don't have enough acidity in your stomach and your body your proton pumps, they're pumps that try and make more acid. Problem is, it doesn't get to the intended destination in your stomach. It goes up into the esophagus. and you get acid reflux, and well, just take a PPI, take some Tums, and keep eating what you're eating. See, that's the problem. You know me, I don't want to get into too much detail, but that's a big problem when you're eating what your body wasn't designed for. You think your body was designed to live on pizza? You think your body was designed for that? I put a picture yesterday or the day before of the 10 top carbs that people live on. They live on from cereal to pizza, to muffins to bagels. Oh, I'm going to start my day with a bagel. Well, you're starting your day with your stomach. It's looking for protein. It's looking for steak or eggs or bacon or sausages, not granola. We've been lied to. Your stomach wasn't designed for that stuff. It doesn't mean you can never eat it. I'm just saying your body wasn't made to live on that. You've been given a body, a stomach by God that is supposed to be more acidic than a lion's stomach. I don't see lions going around chomping on plants, do you? Not that I've ever wanted to get close to one. They live on meat. And we don't. And we should. Because that's what our stomachs were built for. Now, I'm not saying you're never going to have any plants, okay? Don't come after me. Well, you can come after me if you want. I want my audience to be smart. Question. I'm telling you, drives me mental. PPIs. They're far more dangerous than we thought. I brought to you in the past studies that show you're much more susceptible to Alzheimer's because of PPIs. Well, what's that got to do with anything? Well, if you're not getting all your minerals, if you're not breaking down your protein properly, because you don't have enough acidity in your stomach, your brain gets affected by that. Anyway, okay, let's leave it at that. So tomorrow we're going to look at another study. I was just looking at another study with PPIs, but I think I covered everything pretty well. Okay, guys, Friday is what? Q&A. Send your questions in, okay? We love you. We love those questions. We really do. You know, almost every show we do, by the way, is based on questions. Even when I do studies, I know I'm answering people's questions about this and about that. Okay? Hey, Bruno, your birthday? Happy birthday. Okay. Let us know, guys. Let us know. Serpa, your birthday? I'm just reading here. Sandy, your birthday? Holy smokes. How many people got their birthday today? Okay. Well, happy birthday to all of you. Okay. We love you. Talk to you soon.